Welcome to the press room. We have the pleasure of having with us today Executive Vice President Roxana MΗNZATU. We were just saying, for the first time in this press room in this mandate. So without further ado, let me give the floor to you, Executive Vice President.
Thank you. Good afternoon, I think. It's after lunch already. So today in the college meeting, we have had some important topics on the agenda. First, we had an interesting conversation with the president of the World Bank Group, Mr. Ajay Banga. Then a very expected outcome of our work is the action plan for the automotive sector. We adopted the communication for the action plan and on the decarbonization of corporate fleets, and Commissioner Apostolos Tzitzikostas will be in the press room here shortly after this press conference to provide more details. We also adopted the Union of Skills and two other deliverables, the action plan for basic skills and an education plan for STEM, an action plan for STEM education. I will go into further details on that topic. And finally, we also discussed and adopted today the women's roadmap for women's rights. We adopted it. It will be adopted by written procedure on Friday, and on Friday, Commissioner Aja Labib will come to discuss with you more details on that topic. I would then go into some details about the Union of Skills and what it means, what we put forward, and what it will mean in the future, because we are just starting the work on skills. One of the critical responses that our union needs to deliver in order to be competitive is a response to the skills shortage and to the labor shortage as well. So that is why we are putting forward the Union of Skills and the first two deliverables, which is an action plan on basic skills and one on STEM. It will continue, the work will continue. Further along in time, we will come with an action plan on vocational and educational training and one for teachers and trainers. But let me outline briefly, not being descriptive, how we see this vision for Skills for Europe, the Union of Skills, and some flagships, or let's say some key initiatives that are new tools and I think should be known. Not being descriptive, I repeat myself. We built the Union of Skills on 4 pillars and 2 horizontal key enablers. As a response to the situation that we are facing, which is that we are on a declining pathway in the basic skills achievement of our young generation and of the adults. 1 out of 3, that is 33%, of our teenagers is failing in basic maths. So this is absolutely critical. 1 out of 4, 25%, is failing in science. 40-something%, almost half, lack basic skills. With adults, we do not have a much better, let's say, picture. They are also lagging behind in certain areas, such as digital skills, but many lack even sufficient basic skills as well. Another challenge that we have is that the industry, the economy, is transforming at a rapid pace, and our education and skilling systems cannot keep up. There is even a disruptive, of course, tendency that we are seeing with the automation, AI, generative AI, using the new tools that change workplaces, that change the profile of jobs, that change industries. So we need to address this difference in speeds as well. And another issue and another, let's say, systemic aspect that we want to address to the Union of Skills is the fragmentation. In the European Union, we talk a lot about fragmentation in different sectors. Yes, we have fragmentation in the way we respond to the need to skill and educate our population. And I'll give here just a brief example. The European Union, of course, does not have competence, legal competence, mostly on education and skills, but it does invest a lot of money. We invest, and we looked at all the EU strands through which we invest EU money in skills and education, we invest in overall 150 billion euros in the current MFF, 2021-2027. That means RRF, cohesion policy, that means Erasmus, that means InvestEU, and other funding strands. But they have different management systems, different policy objectives, and obviously we are not being able to provide the impact. So we need to spend this money much better. So these are elements through which, or for which, we come forward with this Union of Skills, to which we are providing answers as well. Coming back to the structure of the Union of Skills, so 4 pillars, 2 horizontal enablers. Pillar 1 measures on improving basic skills. I would mention here 2 elements that I think are interesting and important for you to know. We propose a set of 5 basic skills. So we increase the number of basic skills. We define them in a broader sense, not just literacy, maths, science, digital literacy, of course, better defined, and citizenship literacy, where we have multiple, let's say, elements, including media literacy, preparedness, civic education, and so on and so forth. So this is one novelty. Another novelty is that we propose a basic skills support scheme to be accessed mainly by schools that are facing systemic, repetitive failures in equipping their students with the basic skills at the level of achievement that is necessary. So this basic skill scheme, we will first of all pilot starting this year and learn from the lessons of the pilot and then scale it up with the funds that we have, with the national budgets, with the resources that we can gather. But we want to bring this basic skills support scheme to life in order to tackle this. This being said, another important pillar, the second pillar of the Union of Skills, and one that was mentioned many times by social partners, is workplace training. So the reskilling and upskilling of workers. Here, of course, we are aware that we need also to change the mindset, to provide the stimulation, support, financial support to companies, so that workers, no matter their age, no matter their position in company, are able to transition or to navigate the transition, the transformation of their industries. There are industries that are already facing challenges. We look at the automotive sector. We discussed it today. So we need to support workers to be able to reskill, upskill, to remain in the same company, in the same industry, or transition in other jobs in the same company or in similar industries. And that can be done. So for that, we propose a tool that is called the Skills Guarantee for Workers. We also will pilot it, probably for automotive, we see, and offer there the support for training, reskilling, but also active labor measures for the companies that support the workers that are at risk of unemployment or that could be repositioned inside the industry so that they are more secure with their job, that they are able to continue to function effectively in a quality job in the respective company or industry. So this we pilot as well, a Skills for Workers guarantee. I would then mention the third pillar of the Union of Skills, which is, again, about a European labour force, but it's about the mobility inside our union, on the internal market, between member states. Of course, here we have certain tools in place, but they work with difficulty. The recognition of diplomas is always a topic. We have barriers. It takes a lot of time to have your diploma recognized. But what we propose is inspired by our dialogue with the companies, the skills-first approach. So we will propose a skills portability initiative, one that will allow an automatic recognition of the skills of workers and professionals so it's not about diplomas, qualifications only. We are going to the level of skills, and the skills portability initiative is such an example of an initiative that we want to put forward so that we ensure the automatic recognition of skills throughout the union, and we can address the labor and skills shortages with the resources that we have inside our union. Other examples I would want to put for the internal mobility pillar is that we want to develop a European vet degree. We have we have started the work on the higher education European degree, but we want a European vet degree. Vocational and educational training will receive special, let's say, treatment. We have a distinct plan. I mentioned it because we want to increase the attractiveness and the number of people that address that enter this type of education. But a European vet degree is one such tool. We also will propose or will work on a degree for engineers, European degree for engineers. And the fourth pillar is related to the attraction of workforce and talent from outside the European Union. We are talking with industries. I've been talking to healthcare sector. They're telling us they need 2 million workers by 2030. Construction sector, many more millions. There is a demographic reality that tells us that we are losing active labor force due to aging, and industries need much more capacity. So for that, we are putting forward initiatives such as the EU Talent Pool, which is a legal proposal already on the table. The trilogues will start in April. A EU-wide platform that would match international job seekers with the demands of the European industries, legal migration pathway that will ensure that we support our industries. But we also want to look not as just at job seekers generally, but at highly talented, brilliant minds, researchers, doctoral, postdoctoral students, and to offer them the possibility to come and study in the European Union where they find that their values are shared and their research is valued. For that, we will pilot a Marie Sklodowska-Curie scholarship, Choose Europe, we call it. And, of course, we are looking also at a visa program. We will work on it with the colleagues in the Commission so that the visa program will offer facilities and easy access to all the legal roles, positions, entrepreneurial and employment roles inside the European Union. Two key enablers, and I'm closing with that, but those are the most important. One is the governance of the European Union. We have to continue to have the private sector involved. We have now strategic dialogues on automotive, on steel. They will continue, but for skills generally we need a type of governance that includes the private sector in the, let's say, feeding of the policies. So we establish a high-level skills board. This is a team that will include not just ministers of education, commission, it will include also social partners, companies, employers, industries, who will discuss and propose on the policies that and on the measures we need to deploy inside the Union of Skills to address the needs of the industries to better skill Europeans. So this public-private, let's say, board is one that will continuously feed our policies on all topics. Sometimes they will be more sectoral, sometimes more horizontal. Second element, we need data, and we need data on skills, forecasting, anticipating, better analysis, and we need it EU-wide. Now we have different types of databases, some national, some sectoral. We will create an EU Skills Observatory, which is a platform that will integrate on the data necessary for skills anticipation and for the skills analysis, and this will also feed our policies. Third element is a bit more technical, but it's very important that we address the fragmentation of financing and of decisions in a way, is that we will have a brand new EU27 semester, European semester recommendation on education and skills. So we use the semester cycle. We use, of course, to issue a recommendation towards the Council so that member states can take measures in the field of training and skills. For the first time, we put forward such a recommendation, which will be fed by the work of a high-level skills board and by the information from the observatory. Just a few numbers and I close. On STEM, we want to be really ambitious. We will have a gender dimension and you will see it. Our goal is that 45% of vet STEM graduates, vet graduates are STEM. 32% of university graduates are STEM graduates. And we propose that by 2030, we bring 1 million women, girls, women, in a STEM education. These are very ambitious goals, but it is the only way that we can go forward. Thank you, and I am looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Executive Vice President. And indeed, we open the floor to questions on the Union of Skills. Yes, please.
Thank you, Bogdan Sopescu, Radio Romania. I would like to know if this Union of Skills, this plan of the European Commission is going to be followed by some national plans or some something like that. And the second question, 2 months ago, when talking about preparedness, you were talking a lot about fighting against manipulation, this skill that Europeans must have. Is this Union of Skills address this problem, manipulation? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. No, we will not follow up. These are communications from the Commission to the Council, to Parliament, to the committees. This will not be followed up necessarily by national plans. But these are, let's say, the strategic frameworks through which we are, of course, inviting member states to join and commit to our objectives and to our policies. We also created, as I've mentioned, some tools like a semester recommendation so that they are able to better use what we put in the Union of Skills and to act in terms of their deficits and of their shortage of skills, and to use the tools that we provide inside the Union of Skills. Now, it is very important that we have a joint political commitment on these issues. We do not have competencies, of course. That is why you understand that this is a joint political work. But when we say that we want to halve the number of young people that fail in basic maths from 33% to 15%, this is a joint task that we all need to embark upon, because we need to do it with member states as well. I have mentioned you've mentioned disinformation, and again, I've mentioned that we are trying to expand and we are expanding the set of basic skills. The fifth skill that we introduced, citizenship skill, we call it, but it's broader than that, and it does include media literacy, and it does include a series of dimensions that are related to better equipping citizens to face disinformation, and to be able to have critical reasoning in, let's say, a very in a society that's highly flooded by huge amounts of information, and where critical reasoning is absolutely a must. So we've expanded the set of basic skills, and this is, I think, important, that we are no longer considering that an individual is skilled if he knows, or she knows, how to read, how to do a math operation, or how to have basic digital abilities, but also to be able to function in society and take the best decisions. Thank you.
Other questions in the room? No, I see one question online. Odile Harvey from Radio Nord-Bretagne.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Odile.
Okay, yes. The Commission was in India recently, and so I would like to know whether you've been able to conclude, something with the Indians about the number of students coming over to Europe.
I've met there the Minister of Education and the State Minister for Skills and Entrepreneurship. I visited Indian universities, discussed with STEM and research, women STEM students and research students there that are financed through Erasmus and Horizon. The discussion was about increasing the number of mobilities. So now we are looking at, in certain cases, about a couple of thousand, let's say, that we support through EU funding. And the idea was to much enlarge the scope of the funding of mobilities of both faculty and students. Reciprocal, so from India to the EU, from the EU to the European, from the EU to India. We have discussed other topics as well, such as the fact that India is undergoing an important reform of their university infrastructure, They have a huge young population that is, let's say, eligible for university, for higher education, but they do not have enough infrastructure available, faculty available. They are investing in it, but they also invited European universities to open campuses in India and to invest in their infrastructure. We discussed joint degrees. We discussed the project that is ongoing, led by the European International Labour Organization, on the mutual understanding of the skills of the qualification reference framework, as it means, or the definition of skills in India and the European Union, so that we might at some point reach mutual recognition, as it would be very useful. But it is the beginning of the work. So it was the first time that the commissioner in charge for education and skills met the counterpart in the Indian government. We decided that we will work closely together also in view of the strategic agenda and the summit, India-EU summit at the end of this year. I will tell you there was no minister, no college member that did not mention the need to invest and to have a stronger partnership in skills. So absolutely work on that will continue, but it was just a first, let's say, discussion and the first official engagement on that topic.
Thank you. Any other question to the Executive Vice President? No. So if it's not the case, I would like to thank very much Executive Vice President for being here with us, and I will invite you to stay. Those of you interested in the next part, which will be with Commissioner Tzitzikostas, who will be here to present the roadmap on the automotive industry, which was also adopted today in the college. So don't go far. My colleague Anna Kaiser will be chairing the next session. Thank you and wish you a good afternoon.